Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost! But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time. Forget yourself now. If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey! The man with the finest beard on this screen. Canadians and boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Hello, love wrestling. It is that time. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you all know what that means.
It's 2 days after Canada Day?
I guess.
That's what Lawrence said.
Fair, I guess. All right.
What does it really mean, though?
It means that it's another episode of Between Two Beards. Want to welcome everyone in for this evening. We got a big one, as you come to expect. Every week is a big one, but we got a big one tonight. We have our good friend Joey Karni from the Angle podcast here. We'll be bringing him on in just a few to talk a whole lot of wrestling. Night of Champions, Dynamite 300, a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to be chatting
Punk
with
Life,
Joey.
CM Punk's Thugonomics.
Are we talking about that?
I mean, it happened after the show. It happened on Friday.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
It's pretty epic, right?
Was it epic? Was that the word?
I don't know. It's epic in some proportions. But anyway, how are you, buddy?
I am sick as a dog.
Yeah, I heard.
I want to thank you because I do an AEW Dynamite review show over on our friends at Body Slam. I do that every Wednesday with Jose on the air, our pal. And yesterday I had to call in sick because I was dying, and you filled in for me, and you did so admirably. So I want to thank you for stepping up and doing that for me.
Admirably. Now that's a strong word. I did my best, but you know, I'm no JPJ.
I mean, it's not much. It's not much to be JPJ.
I got the cricket soundboard from Jose a couple of times last night.
He gave you the crickets.
Well, it's because I basically said that the Young Bucks shouldn't have been promoted as villains, because if without them there is no AEW, we should respect our founding fathers. But anyway,
we'll get there. We can talk about that.
I digress.
How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I have a 3-day weekend. I'm feeling good about it. That doesn't happen super often, so
yeah, we work in the retail environment, so those type of things are few and far between.
Yeah, my job was like, you can work and get time and a half and holiday pay. Or you can I was like, I'll take a 3-day weekend. You don't give those out. You don't give those out often, so I'm gonna just go ahead and take that. It's the 4th of July this weekend. I bought
tomorrow
fireworks. Spencer Love is probably pissed about that.
Tomorrow,
I put him on the company card.
Did you?
Of course.
That's illegal, I think.
Blowing the budget was spending the corporate. It's a write-off. People just write it off.
Yeah, but you have to use it for business purposes.
It is business.
Are you setting them off on the show tonight?
It's about company morale or something. Employee morale. Like I'm having a good.
Well, we can ask Joey about it. We can bring on the man,
Yeah, bring him on. Yeah,
the
do your
myth,
thing.
the legend, Gary V's best friend in the world, our buddy Joey. What's up, dude?
What's going on, guys? Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. We're glad to have you.
Is buying fireworks on the company dime an acceptable expense?
No.
Listen, someone's always, blowing the pyro budget, so it might as well be you.
That's right.
That's fair.
That's right.
Fair.
See, I think he agrees with me. Anyway, first and foremost, how are you?
I am great, man. I am really excited to celebrate the 4th of July, but I'm more excited to be here with you guys talking wrestling, all kinds of wrestling. It's a fun time.
Yeah,
are you a big 4th of July guy in the sense that you go all out, you buy the fireworks, you do the whole shebang?
I would say I am, but I'm not at the same time. Like, I'm not the guy that's dressing in like all like Americana stuff.
Okay.
I'm the guy that's drinking an American beer outside at the barbecue. We're making hot dogs, hamburgers. We're doing fireworks. We have Kenny Chesney playing. We're outside, that kind of thing. But outside of that, it's not that much more.
Are you the guy that's like fireworks spectacular? What about you, JPJ? I gotta show off. I gotta be the guy of the neighborhood with the fireworks show.
No.
Or you just like get a little bit here and there and have a little fun.
See, my pyro budget was $25 at Target, and we're doing that in the driveway.
I know it. You know it's crazy. I bought my fireworks at Target today. I know exactly what you bought.
Yeah, I think I got one called Taco Tuesday.
I bought Taco Tuesday. It's sitting upstairs. I'm psyched.
Yes, and then I got another one that had like a little like gremlin on it. I don't know what it's called though. It was like a $5 one. I was like, this should be fun.
I luckily, so in the great state of Massachusetts that I live in, it is illegal to buy fireworks. That is illegal in the state of Massachusetts. However, I live about 10 minutes away from New Hampshire, where it's legal to do anything. So
yeah.
New Hampshire is one of those states. So you can just go right over the border to New Hampshire and just buy as much as you want. So, if I know I'm going to a cookout, if I know I like the 4th of July. I feel like with the current state of things, it's a very, I don't know. I feel like there's almost like a stigma now to like I've always been a 4th of July guy, not so much because like I'm Mr. like, oh, America. No, but like I like a good summer holiday, by the pool, cookout, day drinking, family, friends.
Yes.
And I like fireworks. There's a certain romanticism to it. It reminds you about being a kid and summer. And I love that aspect of it. And that's why I do love the holiday. But I do feel like it's just kind of like there's another side of it that we're not going to obviously get into here. But there's another side of it where it's just kind of weird. It's like an odd feeling of sorts. Because I feel like there are certain people that like if you are being very pro-America, you are looked at a certain way for good and bad. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily. It's weird. So, but yeah.
So I have a follow-up question. If fireworks are illegal in Massachusetts, how do you go buy them in another state? Obviously, I mean, I guess the police just look the other way that day. They just go, everyone's doing it.
It's become a lot more lenient. But when I was a child, like when I was growing up as a child and like an early teenager and stuff, I witnessed like police come to cookouts and like give people fines and like give like that's
Party poopers.
Yeah. Yeah. But nowadays, I feel like, listen, I've lived not so much where I am now because I live in kind of a quiet little area, but I used to live in a downtown area for years. And once basically the end of June came, there were fireworks what felt like every damn night for a month.
Yeah.
And obviously there was no policing of that. They were still happening all the time. So I feel like they're a lot more. And it's the thing that irks me the most, can I just tell you this? And I don't know if this happens everywhere. So the town that I live in now currently, they did their 4th of July fireworks last night.
Yes, it's very weird. And I know why.
And then the town that I grew up in is doing theirs Saturday night.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there going, why is not everybody doing it just tomorrow night? That does not make sense to me.
At all.
That irks me a little bit.
We do them all up the whole time. Tonight, tomorrow, Saturday,
But
probably.
like, no, but doesn't the town you live in like have like a designated like, yo, our 4th of July fireworks are tonight at 8:30 or 9? Like, this is our town's. That's at least how it works here. Like, every town has their own firework extravaganza.
That's pretty
And-
much why it happens. Every town has like their own shift, really, because they don't want them happening all at one time, because I guess
fair.
it's more dangerous that way.
Yeah, the air would probably be polluted the worst if like
Dangerous. Plus, if you think about it, money, because if you go to one of these things, there's vendors there. There's usually some type of entertainment. They're
And all the
probably
firefighters are out there as well. So
Yeah,
they
just in
usually
case
bring
things
other
happen.
towns in just in case. So if they have them individually, they can all kind of have their time different nights.
Yeah.
But like,
That's
it's
what-
weird celebrating 4th of July like on like July 2nd or like the 6th. Like,
yeah,
very
it's
odd.
just odd. It's just odd.
I
And,
don't know, speak for yourselves, because that's when you get the good deal on the fireworks. It's
Well,
like
that's
the
true.
5th. You get that fireworks stand's like, I'll just give it to you.
Yeah,
And the pets hate it. Our pets hate.
Yes, they
fireworks.
do hate it.
they do. They do.
Just turn the TV up a little louder.
Yeah, they're not huge fans. They're not huge fans. I remember. So when you guys were younger, did fireworks spook you? Or were you like always into them? Do you remember being like, oh, it's too loud? Because I see some kids that are like, oh, and stuff like. I'm like, dude, I love this shit. I used to be running around like a madman, like just pumped.
I think today's
Pumped.
day and age kids are like that. It's too loud. It's too dangerous. Like
Yeah.
us, like from different generations, like
Yeah, dude.
we like
Dude.
danger.
I can hear my dad going, "Get away from there! You're not supposed to not
I-
that one.
dude,
Don't touch that one."
It's a completely different time for good and for bad, but like,
yeah.
I remember being at cookouts when I was like 5 or 6, and my 11-year-old cousins are like setting off cakes of fireworks in the backyard, and I'm like, this can't be
Safe.
like,
Yep.
yeah, like it can't be.
No.
And
So
I'm just-
I grew up in New Jersey till I was about like 10 years old. So in New Jersey, I guess fireworks are legal because you can buy them everywhere. Like I got them at Target,
Yeah,
and we used to do like block parties
yeah,
in our neighborhood where everybody would be out. People would bring their grills to the street. Like there was
Yeah.
kegs in the street. Like it was wild.
yeah, hell yeah.
And then I moved to Florida, and I lived in Florida for majority of my life, and I guess they're illegal there. So people had to leave the state to go to the Carolinas or wherever they're available and then bring them back, which I didn't do. If anybody's watching, I didn't do it. I promise.
No.
But it was different because growing up in New Jersey, the people were more, it was a different vibe of what 4th of July stood for. Like it was more Americana and celebrating like the fallen soldiers and how much we love our country.
Mhm.
In Florida, I don't want to misspeak, but it was more like redneck, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I get it. I get
the
it.
other side of
Yeah.
the 4th
Okay.
of July. So I kind of experienced both. I live in New Jersey now again. So it's more like everyone's putting out flags. It's also an older generation here
Yeah.
where like the idea of putting out the flag is like the most respectful thing for them to do, which I love. So I've seen both sides of celebrating the holiday.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gets a little wild sometimes.
So
Yeah.
I'm surprised Florida fireworks are legal in Florida.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Everything is
that's-
legal. in
Yeah, I was gonna
Florida.
say. Yeah, I feel like New Florida.
But,
That was
you know.
shocking when you said that.
But no,
You would
I
think
was.
that's the place, at least if anywhere, that would be the one place that they're legal because everything is legal there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like its own country.
Yeah.
So like I would think that they would have different rules. I vividly remember being at a 4th of July cookout, and I was older now. I was in high school, so it was me and my friends. Our parents there, but it was me and my friends, and we started setting off fireworks. Right. So we're in the street. We're setting off fireworks. It's a small little town, so not a lot of car traffic or anything like that. And we're setting off fireworks. We're having a good time. And then one of my friends bought this massive cake that had like 50 fireworks that we're going to shoot off, and this was our finale, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, and like I'm probably a junior, senior in high school at this point, so drinking had been occurring. We're feeling good. We're having a good time. This goes off, and after about the 9th or 10th boom, it just slowly just tips on its side, and then you just see
Oh, no.
Everyone run, right?
you just see like the 13 of us just, oh shit, and we just That's it. I
It
went.
becomes like a war zone, and
Oh, my
everyone's
God,
like
I couldn't
going
believe
left,
it.
right,
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
down.
One of my friends like took the route to go like around it to like flip it back up in between one of the shots. So
I would have stayed away from that thing.
for like 5 or 6 rounds, that thing is just shooting on like this way, shooting sideways. I jumped behind a car and I was like ducking behind a. Oh man, what a time! What a time! And now I go to stuff like Jason Pierre-Paul, the football player, ripped 2 of his fingers off. On the 4th of July. So crazy times. But I think about I don't know. I wonder how like the younger people, do they celebrate the 4th of July like we celebrated the 4th of July when we were younger?
I don't know.
As a father, I will say
like,
that
are your kids jazzed up about it?
I was telling you off air, I bought I told Owen, my youngest, that I was going to buy fireworks today. And we went out, we bought them. He suckered me into buying more than I wanted to, but it's something I did with my dad, and he always got jacked up about it. So I kind of pass it along to all my kids, and like they always get into it. And they're always like, "Can I light them? Can I light them? Can I light them?" And I'm like, as they get a little older, I let them get a little bit more daring, but. Yeah, like that's all. Owen's like, as soon as you're done with the show, can we go out? I'm like, if you're still up, which I don't think you will be, but I said we have all weekend, buddy. Like he opened the box, he looked at all of them, like he won't leave them alone. I'm like, you gotta leave them alone, dude. But yeah, they get excited about it.
It's more the tradition.
Yeah, it's more of a tradition thing. Like I said, and I don't buy anything super crazy that's like. Gonna disrespect most of its fountains, maybe it's a couple things that pop. Just because, like I said, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be that neighbor. Plus, I usually hope and pray that some other neighbor, like last year, I think my caddy corner neighbor, I think he went all out and had like a massive fireworks show. And I was like, perfect. I'm just sitting there with my little fountains, like, what's up, man? What's going on?
But that's
not my responsibility.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I have no problem if my neighbors are the ones firing off them because I'm going to go out there and watch them.
Exactly.
And I'll just be like, if shit hits the fan, this ain't on me. I don't give a shit.
Yep.
This ain't on me. I'm going to hear it to enjoy it. But if cops come or something goes haywire, that's your problem, buddy. That's your
problem. And there's
always
one neighbor that is like that will do that.
Oh, yeah. They go ham. They're like, I'm basically having the second town fireworks
I'm
in my
neighbor.
It's not a fireworks show in the Midwest if somebody doesn't go, oh shit, that was close.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, well, before we dive into anything crazy wrestling related, Scott's in the house, Fernando's in the house. Welcome in, everybody. We've been talking fireworks. Drop your fireworks stories in the chat. Let us know who's got the best pyro in wrestling.
Well,
in the chat. Get us talking. I'm talking about fireworks all day.
The best pyro, Spencer will hate it. Spencer's gonna hate this episode.
I know
he's gonna hate this episode. The best all right. Off the top of our heads, not thinking. Currently, right now, who does have the best pyro? Cody has 3 different sets of pyro.
Well, I think he takes the budget. So who else has pyro?
Well, Randy Orton at Night of Champions debuted some new pyro. That happened. That was new.
Yeah.
Randy used to have the pyro, the young evolution Randy, when he had the
sparkle
drop it. Yep, loved it.
Yep.
Cody. Cody doesn't have the only pyro.
No. There's a few others.
Yeah, there's a few others, but he is. I'm going to be honest with you. Even though it's supposed to be funny, I always thought that Orange Cassidy had some of the best pyro there was to mankind because he would just have that one little half-ass flare.
That's what my 4th of July looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the fireworks that I buy. That's that right there.
Yeah.
The $25 Target fireworks show. That's what I bring.
Again, this is not a pro.
I can't wait. I want you to take a video of your Taco Tuesday going off, and I'll take a video of my Taco Tuesday going off, and let's see who got the better $25 purchase.
That should definitely happen. You both should absolutely do it. Fernando's saying that HBK had good pyro. He did when he would do the pose on the ramp or in the ring, and it would be going behind him. Really good. Kane had great pyro.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I know we might talk about him tonight because he's in a big match next weekend. Goldberg's pyro when he would like walk through it
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty.
Who doesn't do that when they put two? Who hasn't done that when they put two fountains side by side and walk through it like Goldberg?
Yeah.
It's kind of a staple of life there.
Yeah,
I like Pentas.
Yeah, Pentas is good. Pentas is good.
Who else has got a pyro?
Kenny Omega over in AEW has some good pyro.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks got some good.
The Young
pyro
Bucks
yesterday.
got good pyro. Yep, the Young Bucks got good pyro.
Yesterday. Well, they probably because they're EVPs.
Yeah.
Jericho used to have good pyro.
Jericho, yep, back in the day. Jeff Hardy did have pyro back in the day as well. Fernando said that was pretty good. DX when they would do the suck it and they would shoot the X's, that was pretty good.
Bring back more pyro in wrestling.
Yeah.
I know it's not a fee. It's not a great cost efficient way to operate, but it's cool as shit.
Well, I mean, they do the pyro now, but it's more of like, hey, we're gonna do the big pyro things for the event or when the.
But I mean, give us
the person wins the belt. I feel like individual wrestlers don't have.
Would you consider Seth Rollins like pyro, even though it's just fire and flames?
I think so. I think that counts.
I think so, right?
Because Kane was just fire, right? And I would consider Kane having like I feel like that counts.
You know, I used to love waiting for Rob Van Dam's.
Yep, the little like square around around the when it would just
Kurt
go
Angle.
off all at once. Kurt Angle was good. Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder why they took. I mean, outside of like I guess budget costs, but like, why did they take away pyro like today? Is it more for like you said special events, or is it just it's not like popular? What do you guys think?
I feel like it's popular. I feel like everybody loves except Spencer. But I feel like most people like shit blowing up. You know what I mean? Like fireworks and cool like
remember there was a point they weren't doing any because it was they said it was a budget thing. And it probably I would imagine the level of pyro that it takes for them to do it is not us at the store buying, you know what I mean? Like, and you have to pay taxes on it, and probably not every state, like you said, I can't imagine
stuff like that,
permits and stuff. And if it is illegal, does that count for shows? How does that work? So there's probably a lot more into it than we as selfish fans are going, just give it to us because that's what we want. But I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it. And I have to imagine maybe the fire codes, fire safety, inspections, things, all that stuff goes into it for sure. Because like when I bought mine today, I don't know how this goes in your guys' states. Obviously, JPJ can't buy his, but I had to pay a fireworks fee on each thing I bought. There was like an extra $1 or $2 charge for like some kind of state fee. Yeah,
I didn't have that.
No.
Yeah, so
wow, all right,
getting ripped off over here in Indiana.
Crazy. That's crazy.
I will say though, I was at I don't know why I've drawn a blank. I was at the first, or the return, I should say, of Saturday Night's main event in December this past year. And it was in Long Island. And they had all this pyro. And I could tell you, it was so smoky in the arena, you couldn't even see the ring.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because they had the old fashioned, the old style, like setup and everything. But it was really hard to see. I don't know how it looked on TV, but it was really smoky with all that old pyro they used to do, like in the ring, and
I can imagine. Yeah, they come back, you see in the ring, they're like, oh, it's a little. I can't imagine that leaves quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't. It took like within an hour, I think, to like clear out.
Yeah, and they did have that. It was I don't know, was it pyro related? That one that WrestleMania that caught on fire? Was that a Royal Rumble?
It was WrestleMania sign.
The WrestleMania sign, that caught on fire. Was that pyro? I don't know. Maybe they're just like, you know what? It's not worth the risk. We'll just give it to Cody and a couple other people, and we'll be done with
it. Potentially, I don't know. But
speaking of Cody Rhodes,
I was gonna say
Cody
Rhodes.
So we did have a PLE over the weekend. It was in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. It was the Night of Champions. Obviously, we crowned the king and queen of the ring. There were only 2 championship matches on Night of Champions, but we did have. Should have been more. But we did have like I said, the finals of the queen and king of the ring, as we will get into. The show started off with the king of the ring finals. And it was Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with Randy Orton. I thought this was a good match. I think this was a taste of what's to come between these two. I thought this was an easy way for them to give us this match. Because this is, at least for me, and I know a lot of people, this is the story, the match that a lot of us have been waiting for since Cody even came back 3 years ago. And I thought this tournament was an easy way to give it to us the first time, and with the hopes that down the line we're going to get this proper with the feud and kind of whatever they decide to do. Cody Rhodes ended up being victorious and becoming the king of the ring. And like I said, I thought it was a good match. Joey, how did you feel about the opening? There were certain things I liked, but I want to hear your take and Pluggo's take, and then we can kind of dive in more if needed. But what did you think about this opening match between Cody and Randy?
I thought it was a great match across the board. The issue for me is that when they first revealed the bracket for the King of the Ring, and even in the Queen of the Ring tournaments, I immediately knew who was winning both. It was very predictable. It was very obvious, which kind of took the fun out of it, I guess you could say. So I knew kind of Cody was going to win the whole time. As it got closer, I wasn't sure if Orton was going to get closer in that sense, because a lot of people were saying it was going to be Cody and Jay, and then it was going to be Cody and somebody else. And then I saw Randy. I was like, all right, so that's their way of giving us this match without it being for the title, which is what everyone wanted. But honestly, I enjoyed how they did it because you saw the seeds planted for some sort of turn in the future of Randy Orton, maybe going back to being a heel, which I think is desperately needed right now. Cody winning obviously was the right choice. I would have preferred to see this match later in the show, maybe the second to last match where you see Cody get crowned. He's wearing the crown, and then Cena comes out. They have a face-off. Now you have your SummerSlam main event set, and then you go to that Punk match.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
It's not like he can pick who he's facing. We know who he's facing.
Yeah.
They said that the winners get the champion of that brand they're on. So we know the match. Yeah.
Pluggo, go ahead.
I think Joey said the same thing. Like, it was predictable, and it was. But I guess I had no problem with how everything went down. I really enjoyed how everything went down for Cody's road to his King of the Ring ultimately. But I didn't. At the end of the day, I was like, I didn't think he needed it. Like, all he really had to do was kind of keep prodding at Cena, and he could just get the match. Instead, you kind of gave him this spot when it could have maybe helped a guy like a Randy Orton a little bit more than Cody. But I thought. Yeah, Sami Zayn is great. Or just any up-and-comer, really. Like, you know, they did it on the women's side with Jade. They gave it to Jade, which I think that's a great move that really solidifies her. Cody didn't need it, but at the end of the day, like, I didn't hate it, right? So I think I'm just splitting hairs here. And hi, Mrs. Pluggo, the love of my life, the apple of my eye. How are you, honey? She bought me this beard shirt, by the way.
I like it.
I know. We found it at Target. But yeah, like I said, Cody Rhodes being King of the Ring, I don't have any like ill will towards it. I just would have. I kind of want them to go back to like making that King and Queen of the Ring like an up and comer, that next person, that person that we got to be like, oh, we got to keep in the back of my mind. They've got a King of the Ring tournament in their back pocket. But I like them.
Rock, like it meant something.
I felt like they, and we'll get to it, but I felt like they did that more on the women's side than they did on the men's side, because the women's side, it was won by somebody who hasn't tasted world championships yet, who is on a trajectory where you think they are going. Like, so I feel like they did that a little bit more with the choice of winner on the women's side, which we'll get to in a few. One thing I did want to point out, and Scott mentioned it in the chat, but I thought in this match, and I know everybody's saying they're pointing to a Randy heel turn, which again, I feel like that is something Randy's done that a billion times, so we know that there's money in that. We know he can crush it. I thought Cody wrestled more like a heel in this match than Randy did.
He did.
And
the back stuff.
Yeah, and we've seen that story with Cody where he's had opportunities in matches to really be aggressive and win a match and do whatever it takes to win a match, and he hasn't done that.
Yeah.
And we saw him in this final against one of his best friends and a mentor. This was the match all of a sudden where he was like, no, screw that. I don't care about his back. I don't care about this. I'm doing whatever. Like, so to me, and I don't know if that was in the sense of Cody showing that. So like, we know the next time he fights John Cena, he's just going to do whatever he needs to do to get the belt back. Or I don't know if that's a character, the start of a character shift, because I want to get to it when we get to it. But now that we kind of know what the match at SummerSlam is going to be, I could see a double turn happening at SummerSlam.
And who knows Randy Orton better than Cody, right? He knew Randy would do whatever it took to end up in that, to not become the runner-up 2 years in a row. So maybe Cody was just like, you know what, Randy's going to give it his all. I better give him my all. I don't know. We'll see though. You could see a double turn because I think we got to get, if they want, I don't know, this John Cena thing. I have this weird feeling that he's going to leave as champion and they're just going to give us a new championship.
Maybe.
I have this weird vibe where it's like, we're just going to get a new.
I'm a John Cena guy, and I have all of these theories about all of this stuff. It's like, it's wild.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless, to be honest.
Are you in the lab like Charlie from It's Always Sunny, like putting it all together?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Again, after we get to the main event and talk about that and stuff like that, I think there's a rabbit hole we can go down because I do think how these next 4.5 months go, I think it can go a lot of ways with John Cena. I really do. And as much as like Cody kind of showed a viciousness, more heelish side in this match with Randy, over the last little bit, John Cena, very small, but John Cena's been showing some babyface tendencies here. I just feel like, we'll talk about it more after we get through.
You can't end this. Even I'm saying you can't end this on a heel run. No. Everybody's going to want to celebrate him and they'll go in home, in the last end of the retirement. They've been cheering him for a little bit. I just find it hard to believe that. And if they're not going to explain the Rock thing.
Yeah, I just find it hard to believe that last match in Boston, you would expect John Cena, whether you're portraying him as a heel or not, to be getting booed at all in that match. At all. No matter who he's facing. It's just not happening.
It's not happening.
It's just not happening. So how you do it is what it is. But let's continue through. So Cody Rhodes is your king of the ring. Very predictable, but again, in the end, I think it was the right choice. He's Cody. He's the guy. He's been the guy for years now. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And then we went right into a street fight between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez. I thought this match was also pretty good. I thought this was a fine to pretty good match. I thought this match easily was the best that Raquel has looked solo on the main roster. I thought she was tremendous in this match. There were some spots where it was kind of, whatever. I thought the ending was cool with the kind of the riptide off the table. I thought that was a different way to use the table, the way they did that. Overall, I thought it was a pretty solid match. But I was impressed with Raquel. I was impressed with Raquel. And this was their version of, the ladies meet, like a meat match with the ladies. It's two big, strong women that were beating the crap out of each other. Pluggo.
How dare you call her Raquel Gonzalez? It's
I know.
Rodriguez. In my mind, I was like all weekend and all week. When I posted Rodriguez. Am I wrong? So I had to Google it.
Yeah, it happens.
No, it definitely does. But I thought I was
name changes.
Yeah.
I thought I was wrong. I was like, what's going on here? This match was fun. This ruled. We had DC on last week, and I think we all kind of wanted to see Raquel get the win here and kind of keep this going in a way. But again, at the end of the day, you're appeasing this Saudi crowd, and Rhea's over times 1,000,000. So there was nothing wrong with her getting the win here. I thought the match was great. I would love to see these two run it back more and do some other things. I really enjoyed the chemistry that they had. So I was all for it.
Yeah. Joey?
I love the match, to be honest. It was exactly what it needed to be. The confusing part for me is that this whole time they've been putting each other through tables, and the finish didn't involve anybody going through a table. Mm-hmm. So kind of just thrown off by that, because usually they throw those little details on Raw or whatever. One's going through a table, and then Rhea puts her through a table, whatever it is. different way to use the table. Still really fun match. Rhea winning was the right choice, but it made Raquel. I think it opened people's eyes to Raquel because if you remember, Raquel had a really great run in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure did.
She was the NXT Women's Champion, and she was doing a lot of great stuff there, being a powerhouse, getting really, really over with the crowd. So this was an eye opener for people looking at Raquel, I think. And
they were
really fun.
They were pushing her pretty well before she had that injury. It was out for a little while. And so, I love Raquel. I think she's got a lot of potential. I think there's some interesting stuff down the way for her with Judgment Day. So with this Roxanne stuff.
Yeah. Which we'll get into because we'll talk about the fallout from all this stuff on Raw because they did do some Judgment Day stuff that I found very intriguing as well. And, I believe Rhea Ripley's last NXT match was against Raquel in a last women's standing match. That was excellent.
Wow. They always had great chemistry because they're great friends in real life.
They were tag team partners at one point early on in NXT when she was Reina Gonzalez, before she was even Raquel Gonzalez, before she became Raquel Rodriguez. But yes, they were tag team, and so they're very familiar with each other.
I was just calling you out because I get called an idiot on the internet quite a bit. So I thought I just thought all week I was saying it wrong and people were giving me shit. But no.
Because she's had all of those names. You can call her any of those names. It's still this. It's still
true.
her.
It's true. Yeah. But it's not. That's not her name now. The internet will tell me that that's not her name now.
Somebody's
it's
always
not Stunning Steve. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
How dare you?
Yeah. Somebody's always ready to pounce and be like, "Oh, you got it wrong, idiot." It's like, okay, all right, bud, all right.
I got made fun of for making a Burger King joke this week. And so he's like, geez, that joke's so old. Jerry the King Lawler used to get called. I said, I'm sorry, I don't remember things from 1990.
You don't?
No.
That's sad.
I barely remember what I did last week.
People are people.
They
are people.
They certainly are. Okay, so then after that, we had another one-on-one match, and it was Samuel Zayn going against Karrion Kross, and this match was dominated by Karrion Kross for about 85% of this match. Karrion Kross absolutely dominated Sami Zayn, and he could have ended the match, it felt like, relatively easily at many points, but he started, getting a little cocky. He started trying to prove a point to Sami. He wanted Sami to say, tell me I was right, tell me, and he started doing more than he should have. And then when he finally went what it looked like to finish Sami off, Sami kind of popped out, hit a haluva kick out of nowhere, and he pinned Karrion Kross and he beat him. So it was definitely one of those matches where the babyface took 90% of the beating, but at the end, he outsmarted the bad guy because the bad guy was being a little too cocky. And it cost Kross. As we saw on Monday, Karrion Kross attacked Sami Zayn in the back. So that this is clearly going to continue, which makes me happy because the fact that Karrion Kross got a PLE match, I know all of us were very excited for. I thought the match was good. I thought it was a really good showing for Karrion. He looked dominant, even though the ending obviously didn't go his way, but he looked dominant in this match. And this means we're going to get more of him, as we should, because he's great. Joey, I mean, what did you think about how they kind of booked this match and how they kind of went that route of Kross being so dominant and then Sami kind of sneaking one out?
I think it was brilliant the way they did it because it showed the range of Karrion Kross in this match, what he can do, being dominant, getting beaten up, talking crap in the ring to Sami Zayn. I mean, it showed a variety of things. And by the way, he did take a few back bumps for those people watching and listening. He did. So even out to the outside, he did.
I was going to say, he'd be bumping. Whoever said he wasn't, they're crazy.
Exactly. He even said it himself on Adam Goober's. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he said that.
Yeah.
That's the point. Great match. I loved how they made him look dominant. He can take the pin loss because he's not being pushed right now. There's nothing for him right now outside of this story. So the loss doesn't hurt him. Sami Zayn, there has to be something happening or brewing here where he's going to be. I would like to see him somehow get a World Heavyweight Championship match at SummerSlam. Somehow, some way. There has to be some sort of roadmap to him going to the top with what they're doing with Cross. So it was brilliant the way that they did it. The right winner, and I'm fully on board with the Karrion Kross train.
I would have loved to have seen a Karrion Kross win. I knew probably it's coming. It wasn't going to happen here because I think at the end of the day, right, the idea for Kross's character, wins and losses aren't necessarily important to him. It's, can I change who I'm, can I change Sami Zayn? Can I get Sami Zayn to go from this super nice guy that helps out everybody to start thinking about Sami Zayn and going and thinking and being for himself and causing chaos and putting doubt into these wrestlers? And I think he's doing that with Sami, because you see Sami in these backstage segments get visibly more upset. He cold cocked him the week before this match, said he went to Pierce and asked for the match. So, and then Monday night they had it out again. So yeah, I don't think this is the end for that. I think the end game will be an ultimate Karrion Kross win, but right now I think he's winning in this feud with Sami because I think he's getting over what he's trying to accomplish.
He's like the Dark Knight. He's a bad guy trying to do good, or he's a good guy doing bad, but being portrayed as bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
for sure.
Yeah. And I think I do agree with you, Joey. I do think, look, they kind of built this story, they have been very on the nose about Sami never winning a world championship. That has been a very vocal thing that a lot of people on the show are saying is Sami Zayn's never been a world champion.
Yep.
Well, when you start building that narrative about a superstar, you know what the end game of that story is? They're going to win a world championship. That's usually how that goes, right? Now, SummerSlam, I think, is probably, I personally think that after WrestleMania, when Seth turned and went with Heyman and did all that, and they had that show where Sami Zayn was really the main person that Seth was going after or whatever, when Sami cut that promo with Seth and he looked him dead in the eye and he said, I am going to win a world championship. I think when he said that to Seth, I think that was foreshadowing, because I think that Sami's going to beat Seth at next year's WrestleMania for the world championship. I think Sami's going to win the Rumble in Saudi, and then I think he's going to beat Seth for the belt at Mania.
That's intriguing.
And I thought that was foreshadowing of Sami, because they were still that was before Seth beat the crap out of Sami at the end of the night. So they were still kind of friends, and he was trying to get him to go to SmackDown, and they said, we'll get you a world title match because we know that's the thing that's eluded you. And Sami was like, don't feel bad for me. You know who I am. I'm not ducking you. I'm not that type of guy. But let me tell you, I will win the world championship. And in that moment, I go, yeah, you're going to beat Seth for it. You're going to beat him for it.
I have a counter to that.
Yeah.
And I'll make it short and sweet.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I look at Sami Zayn and his direction as 2013 Daniel Bryan. And I would what you said, I love that idea. Have Sami Zayn win the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. While he's celebrating, Seth cashes in, becomes the world champion, and now we build to the underdog Sami Zayn trying to reclaim that moment with the world championship, chasing Seth Rollins.
I wouldn't mind that either. We'll talk about it, obviously, as we go, because I have Seth potentially cashing in at SummerSlam. But
they usually happen at SummerSlam.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of things they can do. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But I love that.
You're going to have Seth cash in at SummerSlam and overshadow the Roman Reigns return?
I think Roman's coming back. I think he's coming
back. He always goes back SummerSlam. He's a SummerSlam return guy. That's why
he is. Yeah. He's like, I'll take the first half. WrestleMania to right before SummerSlam. That's my vacation time. I'll come back at SummerSlam and you get me to Mania.
Take it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That dude had 3 matches this year.
Yep.
And one of them was a singles.
Unbelievable.
Legendary stuff. Making that kick in the checks.
Hey, man.
Checks.
Making 6 babies.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I saw a stat the other day that he's got 6, Fatu's got 7, and who was the other one of it?
Wild.
there was one more that has 7. I can't remember. I don't think it's Solo because that seems like he seems a little young.
I don't think so.
But either way, it's like this bloodline story could go on forever. It's never going to end. Hikuleo showed up in this next match. That's all right. We've got 5 or 6 more coming.
Yep.
Just watch out.
100%.
I'm waiting for Zilla.
Yeah, it'll happen at some point. It'll happen.
He during that match, he tweeted out the telephone emoji like, "Give me a call." He's ready.
Yeah. Well, that next match was Jacob Fatu defending the United States Championship against Solo Sikoa. I don't like to brag, Pluggo. You've been working with me long enough. You know I don't like to brag.
Right, you're so humble.
Yeah, you don't know. You know I don't like to brag, but I nailed this 1,000%. Last week when we were talking about this, I said people were going to come back.
I don't post about your wins, only your losses, buddy.
Yeah, I said Hikuleo was going to debut. I picked Solo to leave as the U.S. champion, and that is exactly what happened. I actually thought that, again, I enjoyed Night of Champions. I thought that this was the best match on the show.
I think so, too.
I thought this was the best match that happened on that show. It was good. I think even before all the, craziness at the end, I thought Jacob and Solo put on they were having a good match. Yeah. We saw a returning Tonga Loa, and then JC Mateo got involved. I prefer to just call him JC, but he got involved. And then it looked like it didn't matter. It looked like Jacob was going to win anyway, regardless of that. He hit his little jumping moonsault, and he's going for the 3 count, and he gets pulled out of the ring by the debuting Hikuleo, who then choke slams him on top of the announce table. I know. Yeah. I know. Which they announced his name. It is Tala Tonga. Is going to be, which I think that's his real name. Tala is his real shoot name.
So Tala Tonga.
I think it's supposed to be like Tala, like Tala.
Is it Tala? Like he's tall, like tall.
Yeah.
Tala Longa. He's
the taller Tonga.
No, he's Tonga. Not long. No, Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, and Tala Tonga. Get it right.
Tonga Loa. You called her Raquel Rodriguez earlier.
How are kids supposed to remember
I called her Raquel. I called her Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel Rodriguez is her name.
Who's on first?
I don't know. What's on second?
I don't know. It's on third.
Yes. Nobody's gonna get that joke because nobody's as old as us.
Nobody's 150 years old.
How many young kids grew up with that, learning about that? Because I learned about that. I learned about that joke. But anyway.
So it's Tala Tonga.
Tala or Tala Tonga.
Yeah.
Tonga.
Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga. Tonga Loa. Solo Sikoa.
JC Mateo.
JC Mateo. That's yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
That's the group. That's the group.
Takes like 10 minutes. Who's in the bloodline? Give me like 10 minutes to sound it out.
Yeah, exactly. But he chokes Tala Tonga, choke slams Jacob Fatu on the desk. He throws him in the ring. Solo hits the spike. 1, 2, 3. Solo Sikoa is the new United States champion. I think that this was, and Pluggo, I know you picked Fatu. You were the only one.
I
three of us with DC last week. Yeah. Me and DC, we had DC, our buddy DC on last week. We both went with Solo. Yeah. I think, and I'm not just because this is what I picked, but I think that this is 1,000% the right call because I think Solo right now is by far, we said this about Raquel a few matches ago. I think Solo is doing his best work right now currently Absolutely. As well. I think he is the most interesting that he's been to me since he's kind of become the lead man here. And go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm okay with getting this match wrong because there's a match a couple down the line here that I got right that you both were absolutely wrong on. So it all evens out.
It's fair. But I thought this was the right call. I think Solo with that belt and Jacob kind of going through the whole bloodline to get back to Solo is a fun story. Or if you wanted just to kind of, obviously there'll be a payoff here, but like even if you wanted to move Jacob up the card and kind of get him away from the U.S. title through this, more than okay with that too, because he's clearly at a higher level to me than that as well. But I thought this was again, best match on the show. I loved everything about it. Joey, I'll have you go first if you want to add more.
I absolutely loved it. I was wrong. I picked Jacob because I didn't think he would lose that title so quickly. But I knew that the long-term payoff was to put that title on Solo. Solo, if you look back to his time in NXT, stud, like complete stud in NXT. Then they brought him to the main roster, and it kind of just they changed everything that made Solo great. You know, I think now he's finally getting back to that. Now he's actually getting that role as the leader of the group, where before it was not clicking at all. I popped hard for this because I was like, wow, like this guy finally had a moment. And now it's like, I feel like the US title is interesting. Like if you look at all the previous champions over the last little while, Shinsuke Nakamura, dud. LA Knight, a little better, but still it was a dud. It was just a guy just defending the title. There was no intriguing story.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is what it needed to elevate the US title again.
Yeah, and even if like you think about it from what you said with Solo, his main roster run, he was, he's hit with the OG bloodline as kind of that silent enforcer. Then he became like the leader of the new bloodline, and that necessarily didn't quite hit real well. And then he had that streak where he lost like 34 straight matches or something crazy like that. So if you've seen something, if you still see something in Solo, which I think he's vastly improved since then, if you don't put a title on him now and say, hey, this is a guy that you can get behind him, and what his tactics are to get it, then they might have been like, if he takes another loss, it's another Solo loss in a big spot, people will kind of lose interest. So it was the right decision, even though I still think that there was still stuff to do with Jacob Fatu. But hey, a 2-time United States champion is better than a.
They could play hot potato with it, and it'd be fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now Jacob literally, like, he can run through this whole bloodline. He can. I expect there to be a match with Tala or whatever. I expect that match because he's the one that choke slammed him and really cost him the match. I expect that to happen.
They should be called the Bullet Club now because there's more members of the Bullet Club.
True.
There you go.
Or the Blood Club,
Bloodline Club,
something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
But good piece of business. I'm happy for Solo. Yeah. Hopefully they continue to let him shine. Because he is really doing some good work right now. I think that them leaning into, he's not a comedic wrestler, but them leaning into him being like a sarcastic asshole. Yeah, that's really what you need to do because he's great at it. He's really great at it. And they're doing it and it's working. The crowd, he's actually getting over with the crowd too. Like the crowd is appreciating it, even though he's a heel and we boo him. I just think he's in a zone right now where it's like, okay, I think this is what we wanted and kind of knew Solo could do 8 months ago.
But it's hard
wasn't doing that.
But it's hard to follow Roman Reigns.
It is.
Right? Yeah. Like immediately right after the bloodline, they're like, now there's at least some distance between that and we can try to go somewhere else with it.
Yeah. So. Somebody had to be Mac Jones, somebody had
to be
Mac
Jones. The 4 letters, one word, stop.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That was great.
It's really good. So we went from that to the finals of the Queen of the Ring, and that was Asuka going against Jade Cargill.
And I don't like to brag or anything. You've been working with me for years, but I called this one.
Yeah, I did not like this. Did not like this that much. I thought the match was fine. The crowd did not give a single shit about this match. I personally thought Asuka should win because I thought Asuka and Io, but I still think we're going to get Asuka and Io at SummerSlam. I still think it's happening regardless of it now. Yep. I understand completely why Jade Cargill was chosen. I get it. She looked like $1 million. I just think Asuka did her best to have a good match with Jade, and I thought it was fine.
The match was sloppy.
Yeah, it just wasn't that great. It was fine. It wasn't
the finish. They messed up the finish.
Yeah.
Like the pin was all messed up. It just didn't. Yeah.
Plus, like on the men's side, we had Cody and Randy, built-in history, 20+ years of friendship. Randy's the runner-up last year. Cody wants to get back to Cena. There's all this stuff. Yep. And then this match, what is Jade and Asuka? Like they were kind of dead in the water out the gate in terms of excitement about it because there was nothing to really sink your teeth in it getting into it, which I understand. Like anything can happen in a tournament. You never know what pairing you're going to get, but you gave us this other thing on the other side where we went, oh, there's a lot here. So I think that's part of the reason the crowd just was like, yeah, this is a match. And like you said, it was a little sloppy, so it kind of took them out of it.
Granted, though, I did think that it was supposed to be Bianca and Jade in this finals,
I think that's
which
what
would
it
have
was
been
going to be.
intriguing.
Yeah.
But with Bianca out, I mean, and Asuka coming back, they needed to basically reintroduce Asuka.
Yeah.
But this is what they did last time that she got injured and she came back. They did the same thing, and then she became the Raw Women's Champion, and then it was like it wasn't anything important, if that makes sense, of anything of significance.
Yeah.
I think she's going to get Io at SummerSlam somehow. But Jade now is being – do you guys think Jade's going to win the Women's Championship?
I think either way, Naomi is going to leave whatever as the champion the night that see, now this is where it gets weird because SummerSlam is a 2-night show for the first time ever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which I keep forgetting.
I could see both Seth and Naomi cashing in on, but I don't think that they would do that. Oh, there's fireworks going off right now. I don't know if you guys heard that, but there's definitely fireworks going off.
I heard it.
I don't think they would do that, but to me, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade, if that's what that's what we're assuming we're getting at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
If you do Tiffany Stratton versus Jade, to me, it's a no-brainer that either Jade wins the title and then Naomi cashes in on Jade and screws her, or Naomi just cashes in during that match and just screws her and leaves with the title. Like somehow, some way, Naomi is the one that leaves the champion.
See her cash in before that and basically insert herself into the match.
So then it would be Jade and Naomi.
But then it kind of takes her heel stigma. You know, that would
because then you build then you build the chase of Jade getting to you get rid of that if you know what I mean.
That's the weird vibe about putting the Money in the Bank on both of them being heels, is they both have to do it in about the similar way. Instead of but either way, I don't know. Jade now, but here's and now Jade is in this spot where if she doesn't knock it out of the park, people are going to be like, that's our Queen of the Ring. She had a bad match in the final. I hope that she does well. I'm rooting for Jade. I love Jade. I don't know. Tiffany and Jade is an interesting dynamic, especially with Naomi running around. Yeah. It would have been an easy layup to just go Asuka and Io. Yeah. But now Io wants Rhea Ripley. So Io might not even make it to SummerSlam. She called out Rhea Ripley. Who does that?
Yeah, I don't want another triple threat.
No,
I don't
either.
all.
I don't either.
We can't keep adding Rhea as the third woman.
No, we can't.
See, Rhea's got it down pat. She just walks into Pierce's office and asks for whatever she wants, and he just gives it to her. Everybody else has got to win these tournaments. Rhea's got the easy street here.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how they go about it, but I think whenever Jade, she's going to get the opportunity at SummerSlam. We know that. I just think Naomi is going to ruin that for her. Like that's.
I think Jade's being used as a pawn. Yeah. Where it is obviously going to be Tiffany and Jade, and to be honest with you, I think Jade's going to win.
I do too.
Jade's going to beat Tiffany, and Naomi's going to cash in. So it's to give Jade the moment of because. I love Jade, and I love the idea of what she can be, but she's not there yet in the ring.
No.
And this is their way of putting the title on her, making a moment, and having Naomi capture
make a bigger moment, and then have Jade chase her a little bit.
That feud continues.
Yeah, and you can have that go for a while as Jade continues to get better and better, and then Bianca's back. Yeah, and then you have a built-in trio.
Nia Jax is involved with Naomi. Like there's so many different moving parts. Rematch with Tiffany, like there's history there. There's so many things that can progress now if that's the road they go. Put the title on Jade for 2 minutes, have Naomi cash in. The pop will be out of MetLife Stadium because people love Naomi, heel or babyface.
Yep.
And I think that's night one.
Hear me out. I don't think you're wrong, but I would like her to hold the championship until she gets the Triple H approval pick, because he wants that. As a former AEW star, he wants to get that, and Naomi cashes in on her right after they take the picture. Backstage,
right in Gorilla.
Get the ref, right in Gorilla. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Give me that. They won't do that, but
That would be the best heel move.
That's what I'm saying. She's getting the approval photo, smacks her with the briefcase. 1, 2, 3, done. Oh man, give it to me.
That'd be fun.
Come on, do it, Trips. Do it. You know you want to. He's
right?
Do it.
He's not listening to the fans anymore.
No. Just sit back, Pluggo. Just sit back and enjoy the show, will you?
You're right. My fault.
Jeez Louise.
My bad, Trips. You are all.
Enjoy the ride that they're taking you on.
Yeah. God, be a fan, won't you?
How dare I? How dare
Jesus.
I have some fun?
We were then at our main event, boys. It was CM Punk, John Cena for what we can assume the last time for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Obviously, at the end, chaos reigned, and we'll get there. But I actually thought that these two had a really good match going on. I thought this was easily John Cena's best match since returning. It felt like an old school wrestling match. They started with like chain wrestling, and they kind of built to stuff. It felt like their 2011 match at Money in the Bank. Like it felt like they were back in that time, and that's what we were getting.
Punk.
Yeah, and it had that feel, it had that vibe, and then obviously it turned into kind of a shit show at the end with everybody coming out and all this stuff. But I thought they were having a real good one. You know, CM Punk gave Cena. Cena gave CM Punk 3 attitude adjustments in this match that Punk got out of. CM Punk hit 2 GTSs on Cena that he kicked out of. You know, it was one of those things, but I thought it was a really well put together match by these two. And then as we get towards the end, we see Seth Rollins come out. So now you have that added intrigue of, holy crap, is he going to cash in? Because we had floated the idea of, because I originally thought that this was going to be the SummerSlam main event, would be Punk and Cena at SummerSlam night 2. And I thought that Punk realistically could beat Cena for the title. I thought he was one of 2 guys that him and Cody, to me, are like the only 2 guys on the roster that maybe could beat Cena for the belt. Then I thought that would be a way to do it. And then I thought Seth would cash in on Punk, because like Naomi and Jade, that is the easiest story you could tell that would still kick ass. Is Punk wins the title for the first time since coming back, and then Seth goes, haha, and cashes in on Punk and goes, screw you, buddy.
Seth
and then
doesn't
Punk,
even want that to happen.
Well, we'll talk about we'll talk about things, because there was a fabulous segment on Raw involving a bunch of guys that was real good that I want to talk about. But this match,
I just meant this match. Something's like I ain't
yeah,
having it.
no. So Seth comes out, he gets involved, he takes Punk out, and then it looks like he's about to cash in, like he's going to cash in and maybe steal the belt from Cena. And him and Cena have a moment where Cena's looking at him like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
You were dead. I'm not dead. I'm here.
Yeah. So they have a little moment, and then obviously Seth has his goons in tow. They get in the ring, they take out everybody, all this stuff. And then that leads to eventually Penta comes down and gets involved. Then we see Sami Zayn come down and
Can I just say I thought that was weird that Penta got involved in this?
Yeah.
I was like, huh?
And he didn't even like make the save.
He did the Jeff Hardy, like he danced his way down. It's like, dude, if you're making
He
a
didn't
save,
even go down the ramp.
Charles Robinson ran faster than you, Penta, and got killed.
Yeah.
But here you are, just smooth walking. Which, don't get me wrong, if I could be as smooth as Penta, I might do that in those types
Charles
of
Robinson
situations.
is on my Survivor Series team.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
for
mean,
real, he took that shoulder tackle like a boss.
And I loved that callback to the 2011 Money in the Bank where Cena took out Charles Robinson when Vince was trying to come end this match so Cena wins, and Cena was like, nope. They kind of did like a little play with that, which was really good.
Tour. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and one thing that I loved is after everybody's kind of cleared out of the nonsense, we end with, for a moment, we have CM Punk and John Cena kind of turning around, squaring off across the ring for one last time. That stare down. And even me, my 40-year-old self, I got the goosebumps there, because I was like, to me, this is each of their best rival to me. It's my favorite Cena feud of all time. I'm a huge CM Punk guy. It's just, to me, this is their great. These guys are what made me come back into wrestling when I kind of hopped out for a little bit. CM Punk and this feud and that Money in the Bank. And it's just, you know, that random match they had on Raw, which was the best match they've ever had. It's just like, it's their best feud, each of them. And you had that moment where they did that, and they did kind of the slow walk as they got closer to each other. And I think everybody in that crowd, everybody at home, everybody watching was kind of like, we all felt that. We were all just kind of like, oh man. And we're getting those moments. We got that moment with Randy and Cena, you know, we're getting those moments. And this was one of those moments where it was like, oh damn, man, like this is really going to be it. And Punk puts the hand out for a handshake, and Cena shakes his hand. And they have that moment for a minute, and the crowd's like, oh, shit, all right. And he brings him in for a hug. And then we get the call back to the heel turn where his face just drops.
Yep.
And he's going to go for the low blow, but Punk catches him. And then Seth gets involved again. He hits Punk with the briefcase. He hits the stomp. And then Cena kind of throws Seth immediately out of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Cena retains. And that's how it ends. So Punk was on the precipice of winning. Seth kind of cost him. And then Cena swooped in and threw Seth out of the ring before Seth could do anything funny. He retains. Good match. I thought the best match of Cena's return. Pluggo, I know you're a big CM Punk guy, so I'll go with you first, and then we'll end it with Joey.
Why are you trying to shake Cena's hand, Punk? Don't do that.
Respect. Out of respect.
Yeah, you
Kind of to be CM Punk.
Maybe if he didn't spend exactly, thank you, Joey. Maybe if he didn't spend so much time trying to be friends with John Cena, you could have beat him, and you could have ended this for all of us. Because I am, for one, not a Cena guy, so this retirement tour is not for me. But no, overall, it was a fine. It was fun. It was a good time. I was invested the whole way. Of course, I think it ended pretty much how most of us anticipated it ending, but I like the way they did. Just because it was predictable doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Yeah. I really liked Seth's involvement there. I still can't quite figure out, though, how Seth has all these big, meaty men in his stable, and he can't take out an old John Cena and an old CM Punk to win this title. So he's going to have to talk to his guys and be like, hey, I need a little bit more out of you. I can't be showing up at Sunday. Like he said on Monday, I flew all the way across the world just to stop CM Punk from winning a championship. You couldn't have brought the gold back with you, but either way.
It's true.
Well, Seth Rollins has a new nickname. He's the Braun Collector. He's just collecting all the bronze. All we're missing is Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
All the bronzer, too. I mean, those dudes are damn.
All the bronzer.
Yeah, he's collecting all the bronzer. I'm surprised he does not have a bronzer deal in that stable where they have some sponsorship. But maybe it's coming. If it happens after this show, I want 5%.
I don't know what I was expecting with this match. I knew it was going to be good. I knew there were going to be callbacks. I didn't expect that much involvement from Seth and his group, which made it exciting because I was like, oh, so much is happening right now. I don't know what's happening. I didn't really like the inclusion of Sammy and Penta because it doesn't really tie into the Cena Punk stuff. Like they kind of stretched away from the story and they brought it back quickly, but it just, to me, it shows that maybe Seth isn't going to cash in on Cena. This is why they did it now. He's going to go for the world title. I have my theories about Cena and Seth later, but overall it was fun. I really did enjoy the finish. We got that split second of babyface Cena where it was like a tease, like we know it's coming. He knows that we know that it's coming. And the 1, 2, 3, roll out of the ring, get out of there. I mean, it was masterclass, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree. And I thought overall, Night of Champions was a pretty good show.
The Saudi shows always are, though. They're always like underrated shows.
Yeah, and I thought the crowd was really good. I thought they were loud. They were singing. I feel like every time they go there, the crowd gets better and better. And regardless of how you feel about them even going over there, like the reason why I don't like that they go over there has nothing to do with the fans that are in attendance with that show.
Agreed.
I feel happy for the fans that get to see a show there and get to enjoy that and go, I'm lucky. I get to go to shows often.
They waited a while for that too.
Exactly. Yeah. So like it has nothing to do with the people, the normal everyday citizens that get to go to that show and have a good time and sing and scream and cheer. I'm happy for them. It's other things. It's government. It's other higher powers that make me feel iffy about, not iffy, but against that in general. Yeah. But I thought the crowd showed up really well. I thought they were singing the songs. They were loud chants. I thought the crowd was excellent. I thought it was a fun show. I didn't expect Solo and Jacob Fatu to be my match of the night, but I thought it was. But I thought overall, like, it was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
And then, we kind of saw some follow-up happen on Raw. I thought Raw was also a pretty good, at least I thought the wrestling on Raw was quite excellent. The in-ring stuff on Raw. And there were some surprises. I did not expect the Judgment Day to win the tag titles back from the New Day.
Shout out to the Judgment Day. They just keep on
and they
chugging along, and holding gold.
They got a baby face pop. That was a baby face pop when they won.
They have been going for what feels like 7 years now. Yeah. It feels like it's been a lifetime. Roxanne Perez she won her first title without even having to do anything.
You walk through the door.
It's shout out to, I don't know how they keep doing it, man, but good for them.
I had tweeted that I tweeted out saying the Judgment Day is like on their Eras tour. We're like Taylor Swift. We're like, there's so many eras of them, and they all worked. They all worked.
Yep. On the other side of that, what a disappointing title run for the New Day, huh?
Yeah.
Really, what a disappointing, since again, this is another thing, the heel turn moment, terrific. And then the follow-up sense, and just a whole lot of nothing, man. Just a whole lot. And those guys are so good because we know they're so good.
But the tag division is.
Oh, I was gonna say that too. Like, remember at the height of the New Day, they had the Usos to go against. You had the Street Profits were on the come up at one point. There was
the bar.
The bar. Thank you. Yeah, there was tag team. Now it's like, who are they really facing on a week in a week basis?
They weren't wrestling.
Yeah, they weren't wrestling, and they went for the moment with Big E. They got the shocking moment. I think we all had our opinions on that heel turn, and if you're not going to put him in meaningful stuff, like, I don't want to be that guy, but their WrestleMania match was against Eric and Ivar, who were in Clash of Champions outfits coming out the ring looking like cartoon video game characters. It
wasn't even a good match.
Yeah, it wasn't even. Yeah, so it's just like, and then if you want Finn and Judgment Day and them to start getting cheered and go babyface with them, because when Liv comes back, she's getting a pop. 100%. I don't know what you do with the New Day now, and I don't know how you get this tag division back. I just don't know.
I have an idea.
No?
Can we get the Usos to come back? Since Jay's not the champion anymore, can we not have Jimmy?
I thought that's what the plan was. Hold the title. Let New Day hold the titles until they get the Usos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think even though New Day just lost the titles, can you get Jimmy over to Raw and we get the Usos back and we get babyface Usos against heel New Days, which is something we've never seen before. It was always the other way around.
Couldn't we just do one set of tag titles? I mean, SmackDown's tag division is better than Raw's, and I don't think it would hurt anybody if you just added Raw's division into SmackDown's and had them float and put on some banger tag matches on both shows. They do that with the women's. They don't separate for the women's anymore. It's one set. Like, I think it would, unless you plan on building up the teams, unless you plan on getting the Hardys in there somehow from TNA, use that crossover.
I don't know. Yeah. The Raw tag scene is
who is it? It's the War Raiders, who are one of them's hurt right now, right?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, you have the New Day, you have the Judgment Day, you have the War Raiders, you have the Creeds. Obviously, I think Braun and Bronson are going to be a team here for a little. I would think. But again, other than that, but then if you look at SmackDown, you have the Street Profits. You have DIY. I know one of the DIY, Praxium, Motor City Machine Guns. One of the dudes is hurt.
The Garzas.
You have the Garzas. You have Pretty Deadly.
Wyatt Six.
Mm-hmm. You have like 7 or 8 legitimate good tag teams on SmackDown, and you got not that on. They have to do some sort of maneuvering around to spread that more evenly because it's
I think there's a draft coming. I think sometime after SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think that's what that's what's been thought about. You got to do something because the Raw tag team division is basically non-existent. So,
I would love to see them do something with the Creed brothers because that whole storyline with Chad Gable and El Grande Americano. I mean, there was so much room to be creative where like Chad Gable is like the one trying to train them to be champions. And you could easily make all of them champions besides him. Like it backfires on him. The Creeds are the tag team champions. Put the IC title on Ivy Nile for a little while. Like there are so many opportunities where they can make that fun and intriguing while building tag teams, while building the other guys and girls. It's like, why are we just doing one thing?
Yeah, then to kind of cap the New Day thing, it just didn't. The heel stuff, like. We didn't believe you for a while, right? Like after it's just like you guys we know you're super duper best friends, and it felt kind of forced. So yeah, they got to do some retooling in that tag division for sure.
Include Big E at all outside of the heel turn.
Yeah, they didn't.
Why didn't you have it like somehow like distract them, and that's how they lose the titles? You know what I mean? Like something like.
Or when he offered to manage them, maybe string him along a little bit, treat him poorly, but he's still like, hey, these are my brothers, and I know they're being dicks to me, but I still want to help them until he snaps, and then, like he says, cost them a belt or something, so that we can look back on this and go, this title run was more than just that turn on Big E.
Yeah. I don't know, just a real whiff, in my opinion, like just a real swing and a miss here.
And nobody enjoys the Judgment Day having the titles either. So
and it's now the Judgment Day has both sets. They have the Raw men's and the women's
and the IC title. Like they've got it all.
Like the Judgment Day is the one that has a lot of the gold, and it's just one of those things where I love the way that Finn did it though when he was like sweet talking Pierce and all this. He's like, hey, look it. I'm the from one tag team champion. Like, I feel like this is what we should do. And now you have that whole intrigue where Raquel's just going to kind of step in. And I think Raquel is going to win everybody. Like, not Raquel. Roxanne. I mean, it just kind of stepped in. And I think basically what we're getting here is everything that Liv kind of did to Rhea.
Exactly.
That's Roxanne's going to do to Liv. And then Liv's that's the whole thing. And I think that's the way to do it. And I think when Liv comes back, you said it, Pluggo, she's going to get a huge pop. I think when Liv comes back, she should be babyface night one. Don't even pretend. She comes back, she's a babyface immediately. And I think
winner.
Yeah, I think it could happen. I think you build to kind of Finn and Roxanne versus Dom and Liv type of stuff through that.
Maybe that was in their agreement. Like, we're going to fire Carlito. We're going to get rid of your clubhouse, but we're going to give you all the gold. The secondary gold's all yours.
Well, the idea is supposed to be that Liv went down with injury, and now Finn Balor's idea of the Judgment Day is successful.
Yeah.
Without Liv.
Yeah. Because Liv was always the one.
Did you see him tweet them all holding the gold? And he was like, hey, Liv, we miss you. And being like snarky about it, kind of like, there's some fun stuff that they could do with it.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Watch the show, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So that happened. Rusev and Sheamus.
Banger.
Oh my God. Oh, just my
and
type
I love
of match.
The finish too, where where Rusev like whispered in his ear, like, "I still love you, my brother." Like, you're good. Like, it showed the human side of Rusev, and I love that.
Yeah.
And then like that one moment where Sheamus is just getting pummeled in the corner, he goes, "Bring it, bitch."
Yep.
He's just they were just having a fun time with that match, and they probably went backstage and was like, "Hell yeah."
The problem is that like Sheamus is just like he's just there. Like, there's no. When was the last time he was involved in a story?
That was when he was going for the IC title, when he was involved with like Gunther and Drew and that kind of whole
the Braun Breaker thing when he's trying to win it twice.
But
shout out to Nathan who's in the chat. Welcome in, friend.
Yeah. I think you just look at Sheamus as a guy who can have good matches, so they just put him in good matches.
Yeah.
He's just there to be in good matches.
Yeah.
I mean, until you have something again, and this was one of those weird weeks. I think we're kind of glossing over that with this too. It's one of those weird weeks where it's they're double taping. It's an early show. It's 4th of July week. How can we kill 20 minutes and still get Sheamus and Rusev? Let's just do it, right? And then Sheamus go out there and kill it for 20. I'm cool with that right now until they find something for him to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
There was another good match with Bayley and Lyra, and the winner was going to be the number 1 contender for the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of went the way that I think we all thought. I'm actually glad it went the way that it did. And I was assuming, we're going to get some sort of double count out or a double DQ or something like that, because we're definitely getting a triple threat, no question.
Evolution, right?
At Evolution, I would assume we're getting a triple threat. But the way this was just a good old-fashioned wrestling match between these two. And the way that it ended, where they did the double pin, we don't see it often, but I think it worked for the type of match that these two were having on Raw. I think it worked, and it was kind of out of nowhere, and the crowd didn't really react to it a ton. But I don't think it was necessarily because it was a bad thing. I think it was just the way it went. And it's very clear that, they were both not happy after the match. They brawled after the match. Adam Pearce had to break them up after the match.
Yep.
It's clear that we are going to get a triple threat with Becky, Lyra, and Bayley at Evolution. It won't main event the show, but to me, that's the match I'm going to be caring about the most at that show. This has been my favorite thing on Raw since it started. Maybe my favorite thing in the company since it started. I have loved every step of the way with this Lyra, Becky, and Bayley, and I've loved every step of the way, Joey, with this. I think this triple threat match will be the match of the night at Evolution when it's officially announced and it happens. All 3 of these women have been killing it. Tremendous stuff.
Something for me is not clicking with it, and I'm still not sold on Lyra.
Oh, really?
To me, I get invested in the characters. And I don't really see her having a character. She's a great worker. She's a great wrestler. But if you were to describe Becky Lynch, right? There's a definition behind her. You could define her to someone who doesn't know her. Same thing for Bayley. How would you describe Lyra to somebody?
Well, I thought
what's the character? What's the idea of her for someone?
I thought that when it was Becky and Lyra one-on-one before Bayley came back and they were doing the promos, I thought that Lyra was outperforming Becky.
She was.
In those
I
promos.
think that was being done on purpose.
Probably, but I thought that was like a character that was like, hey, this girl's she don't take shit. She ain't scared. She ain't scared of Becky, even though she's newer. Like, she don't care.
Yeah.
She's not scared of Becky. And it was at least because before this Becky feud, Lyra had been on the main roster for 6, 7, 8 months. She was the women's IC champion, and she never spoke. Like, she never. So she really
defended it. She defended it like once or twice.
Yeah,
maybe?
and so she really had no character. And then when she started talking and doing well, you saw this character starting to come, and it was like, oh, this girl's like a tough as nails. Like, I'll beat your ass. Like, like type of, I'm not scared of you. Like, I'll talk shit to you just like you're talking shit to me. I'll beat your ass in this ring. Like, I don't care. I do think the last couple of weeks with Bayley, she's looked a little I don't know how the proper word for it, but she's kind of stuck her nose, and I understand it is her business because of the Becky side of things, but she's kind of been a dick to Bayley the last couple of weeks.
Well, it's because according to Lyra, Bayley hasn't said, while she was out, she didn't say the whole, why did you text me while you were injured thing or call me? And then when she came back, she immediately jumped the line, so to speak.
That's
Bayley
kind of what it is. Like, Bayley took her spot.
That's how Lyra's perceiving it. Like, hey, you come back. We were supposed to be tag partners. You got injured. I know Becky did that to you, but we haven't had a discussion. And now you're kind of just taking my spotlight here.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a great match at Evolution. I think these 3, and I don't know if this is the one where Lyra beats both of the legends to cement herself here. I don't know if we maybe run this feud through the summer with the 3 of them and maybe interject some other stuff to it. All I know is I am invested in it. It's Becky, it's Bailey. Lyra is on the come up in terms of her character work. I think there's some work to do, but this is the most intriguing thing she's done in her time on the main roster.
Yeah,
agreed.
And that's I always thought that it was going to be like, hey, this is a way for you have two people at the stature of Becky Lynch and Bailey wanting to be women's intercontinental champions. It automatically elevates the title that people of that stature want it and they're fighting over it. And that Becky is the IC champion. That immediately makes that IC title something that everybody should want. And I think the end goal, whether it's her beating both or her beating one of them afterwards, maybe at SummerSlam or something, I do think the end goal here is Lyra getting that belt back and kind of making her an even bigger star out of this, as you would assume Becky and Bailey would then move back up the card towards world title aspirations, because that's who they are. They're two of the living goats. You know, like that's how I thought this would go. Like I thought that this would be a good way to raise Lyra's profile and in the end make her a bigger star by her overcoming these two and like becoming the champion again at the end of this.
Yeah.
Whilst elevating the title itself, because you have two all-timers fighting over a mid-card title. That's what you want. Yeah. That makes the mid-card title matter more, you know? So, but we did get that, which I thought was good. I thought the ending tag match with Braun and Braun, whatever we want to call them, against
the Bronzers.
Yeah, the Bronzers, the Braun and Braun connection, whatever you want to call them. Against Penta and Sammy. I thought this was a fun match. We saw Braun and Bronson win the match, and then at the end there was, you know, some beating down and stuff like that, and then we saw Jey Uso come out with the chair and kind of fight everybody, and the baby faces kind of ended the show standing tall. But I thought it was a good main event. I'm saving the segment that I enjoyed the most on the show for the last kind of thing we'll talk about in a few. But I thought all in all, it was a good tag match. Like I said, I thought Raw from a wrestling perspective was a really strong show in ring. And I thought it was a fun main event with those two. And the mashup theme that they had was awesome.
I didn't expect that. And like, Paul Heyman looking like a badass, holding the briefcase, standing in the smoke in the dark. I was like, it's giving me
that new briefcase too.
Yeah, very nice looking briefcase. Very nice.
Giving me like that feeling of when he started out with Brock. Way back in the day, where you felt like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be big.
Yeah. And I thought the lighting was excellent. Just everything about the presentation was really good.
Yes.
One thing I will say, we did mention Chad Gable briefly, but I just want to say justice for Chad Gable.
Get better, Chad.
Yes, obviously. Get better. But justice for Chad Gable. How do all you people feel now who were accusing Chad Gable of being Grande Americano? Now what do you have to say for yourselves? You got eggs on your face. Clowns, all of you.
I think
because we clearly saw Grande Americano after Chad Gable left the arena injured. So all you people that were accusing, I'm talking to you, Michael Cole, all you people accusing Chad Gable, shut up. Anyway.
Not only that, if I could interject, all the people that were adamant it was Chad Gable and had no evidence to back up their theory immediately go, oh, that's Ludwig Kaiser.
Unbelievable. Like, do this again to somebody?
Like, what are we doing here?
We're just going to do this again to somebody else?
Joey, just let El Grande Americano be El Grande Americano. Why do we keep trying to make him somebody he's not?
I feel like his name has to be El Grande Americano El Grande. Like the big version of the big version of the big coffee.
Maybe what they're trying to tell us is that there's a little El Grande Americano in all of us, and he takes on many forms because he is us.
Listen, I will lose my shit if we get Hornswoggle come out as like next El Grande Americano.
El Paquito Americano.
El Paquito Americano.
Oh, if that happens, man. I will pledge my undying allegiance to you, Joey, as the end-all be-all in wrestling.
I think if a WWE personnel is watching, they saw that a light bulb went off, and like think about how funny that would be. Like you have obviously Chad Gable is like the middle-sized guy. You have Ludwig, who's way taller, and then you have Hornswoggle, and you have just American made just all be like, that is the real like Grande Americano.
Yeah,
that's the real him.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Like they're just like manipulated. Like anybody who dresses up as him is him.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. That'd be funny. We saw the show open up with Rhea Ripley cutting a promo. She said the Judgment Day is behind me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, sure.
It
sure,
is, but
sure.
It is in ratings, but you know.
Yeah.
It is until somebody mentions Dominic Mysterio, then she's like, that little slut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little chicken teddy slut.
Yeah.
But, you know, and she's asking what's next for Rhea Ripley. She's interrupted by Io Sky. Io Sky tells her that Adam Pearce told her that she can pick whoever she wants to face at Evolution for the title, and she wants Rhea Ripley. So they make the match. The match is set. So at Evolution, we are going to be getting Rhea Ripley going for the Women's World Championship against Io Sky. It's a match we've seen a few times already this year, but the first time in a little while, a few months or so.
Yeah.
I know everybody's just kind of jumping to the conclusion that Rhea is going to beat Io, and I understand. I don't think so.
Nope.
I think Io's retaining. I understand why people automatically go there. Rhea's the most. I get it. I understand why that's the thought, but not to me. Like to me, I'm like Io's going to win that match.
Yep. We're getting Io and Asuka at SummerSlam. There's no way they're ruining that.
Yes.
I think they're doing whatever they can with Rhea right now because I think in the draft she's moving to SmackDown.
Yeah, I think that would be a good move for her.
She's done everything on Raw.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just saw, you know, kind of how everybody was reacting to it. And I saw just people saying, oh, great, Io's going to lose to Rhea. Oh, great, Rhea and Io again. Rhea's going to win because it's Rhea. And I'm just sitting there going like, maybe I'm watching a different show, but that's not the vibe I'm getting at all.
But then again, Rhea hasn't pinned Io one-on-one.
Yeah.
So
maybe she could.
Maybe she could. If you guys hear fireworks, sorry, they're doing fireworks outside my window right now.
No, you're good. Tis the season. Little Owen just came downstairs. Like, are you done yet? I go, go upstairs. Watch YouTube. We got time. It's still light out, my guy. It's still light out. We're good. Fireworks are a dark activity.
Dark.
Yeah, like he bought like glow in the dark poppers today. I'm like, you can't do those when it's 4 p.m. They won't have the same effect.
He's just excited.
I liked Io being confident and going because again, that whole WrestleMania run, she was the afterthought. She's still kind of the afterthought right now when you kind of watch Raw. And Pierce goes, "You do whatever you want," and she goes, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and go for the biggest dog in the yard. Boom, give me mommy, give me Rhea. I like it. Will it backfire on her? Maybe that Rhea Ripley effect is real." But damn, it was a cool segment, and two of the best are going to go at it. I think we're all winners for that.
Yeah, I agree. And then,
by the way, really quick, I just saw this. Dark State invaded TNA and attacked Matt Cardona.
Really?
I just saw it on my Twitter feed, like about 20 minutes ago.
Yo, have Matt Cardona show up on NXT. I'd be all in on that.
I like it.
For my money, I thought this last segment we'll talk about on Raw before we dive into a little Dynamite 300 before we get out of here. So Gunther, he comes out and he cuts what I thought was a real good promo against Goldberg, and I love the fact that every time Gunther mentions Goldberg, he doesn't call him Goldberg, he calls him Bill Goldberg or Bill. Yeah. I feel like that is so demeaning. And
but if you think about it, he actually like Bill Goldberg and Goldberg are two different characters.
Exactly.
But yet when a former character called him bro, that was ultimate disrespect. Make up your mind. What do you want to be called?
Yeah.
He's like the family Bill Goldberg now, you know? He's fighting for his family.
Yeah. Which I just love the way that he just says that. It's like so like demeaning, and I'm all for it. So he cuts this really good promo on Bill. He says, they showed a highlight. First of all, I have to call someone out here. And that highlight in the highlight reel, that they showed of Goldberg earlier in the night, they said that he was the greatest WCW champion of all time. Who
Maybe the
the
most
fuck
dominant?
cleared that?
Well, obviously they're selling a match.
No, but you don't sell it by being. Come on,
Who's okay? Now listen, I'm not saying that you're wrong. Who's better?
Ric
Sting?
Flair, Sting,
Sting,
Sting.
Flair,
Hollywood Hogan,
Hogan.
WCW. There's a lot. Ricky Steamboat.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just curious.
But if you think about this, if you were to ask the average wrestling fan, not like the three of us, we're diehards and we do this for a living. Think about like the average fan who doesn't necessarily know WCW.
They know Bill Goldberg though.
They know Bill Goldberg, and he was on the cover of the video games. He was on the posters. He was on everything. Like, go ask the average fan who doesn't necessarily know everything about WCW. Name 3 guys from WCW. Guaranteed. Hulk Hogan, Goldberg, Ric Flair, or Sting. Those are the 4 names.
Yeah,
that they're throwing out.
And look at that part.
Always in that field.
You could have said most dominant, and I would have been more than fine. When you say greatest to me, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah,
come on, man. But anyway, he talks. He runs down Bill. He says, I could beat Goldberg in 3 minutes, but that's not what my goal is. My goal is to blow him up, he said. He said, blow him up, beat him up, embarrass him, make him look like an idiot in front of his friends and family in his hometown and all this stuff. And he goes, yeah, no, I heard that Goldberg doesn't like bullies. Well, he picked a fight and bumped into the biggest bully in WWE. And then he said after Night of Champions that Gunther is going to be the one that will raise the question of who's next for the Ring General. I thought that was really good. And then it kind of went up a notch because Seth Rollins comes out with that new sleek-looking briefcase. He congratulates Gunther, but he basically says, hey, man, be on the lookout. Like, both champions need to have their head on a swivel here. I'm coming after both of you. I'm coming to take everything. Be on the lookout. And he said, and then Gunther says, well, why didn't you just do it on Saturday? And Seth said, hey, man, like I was there to maintain that Punk didn't win more than I was to cash in. I have my plan. Yep. And then CM Punk comes out, beats up Seth a little bit. Seth runs up through the crowd, up the stairs. Punk is yelling at I keep on saying Goldberg, yelling at Seth. And then Punk goes to leave, and Gunther kind of grabs Punk as Punk is walking by him, and Punk shoves Gunther, and Gunther falls over, which I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not, but even so, it added so much to it that he fell. And to me, I think
it was. I think he was shocked that he got pushed by. I think he was shocked. I don't think he was. Maybe he wasn't trying to get Punk's face in a bad way, but he was just like Punk just shoved him. I think, and he looked. He's like, "What the?"
Yeah, and then
Punk was intentional because Gunther grabbed him to be like, "Hey, man," to talk to him.
Yeah,
and Punk just kind of lost his cool and pushed him to the ground.
Yeah, and Gunther was looking at him, and Punk kind of said something to him, and I think that was a perfect foreshadowing. I could see that being the SummerSlam match for Gunther and CM Punk for the title, and maybe Seth looming over that. So I think that was good foreshadowing, and then they show Seth up at the top of the stairs, and we see LA Knight come from the concourse behind him with a big gulp. And they start fighting throughout all the concourse, and then we find out that match is now on for Saturday night's main event with LA Knight and Seth because they've been having a little thing here. And then even later on in the night to kind of tie a bow on this segment, I thought that CM Punk and LA Knight had a real good piece of business in the back where CM Punk goes to LA Knight and he goes, hey, pal, stay out of my way when it comes to Seth Rollins, get to the back of the line. And I loved LA Knight here where he was just like, hey, man, I don't know if you saw, but I'm fighting him at Saturday night's main event. I am the line. So why don't you get to the back? Like, I loved LA Knight being like, hey, Punk, I don't care who you like. Shut up.
LA's got to move to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Well, they got a lot of good stuff going on in that main event scene.
I thought that was a nice foreshadowing of a potential CM Punk and LA Knight match as well. So I thought that this segment, Seth Rollins is involved in like a lot of things currently. Yeah. Which I love. And I thought that this foreshadowed like 2 or 3 potential matchups with Punk and Gunther and Seth. Then you had LA Knight and Punk. You had a whole bunch of stuff that went on here. I thought this was the best segment that happened on Raw. I really love this segment.
And just remember, you said Seth is involved in a lot of things, and that's the right way to book a Money in the Bank winner, because then it makes it unpredictable. But there's one name that we've barely said at all in this show, and Seth has business to take care of with Roman Reigns.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, right.
And that's another chapter of this book with Seth Rollins. So there's a lot of different ways they can go. Like, Punk wins the title at SummerSlam. Seth comes to cash in. Roman prevents it from happening. There's Roman, I think, is the key factor here for Seth.
I think when Roman comes back, Seth will be. Yes, I think Roman will be the main. Maybe, I don't even know, because there's rumor that he might come back before SummerSlam, maybe. So maybe Roman shows up at Saturday night's main event next week to cost Seth that match, and then we get Seth versus Roman at SummerSlam as a booked match on one of those nights.
Isn't Roman
night one?
It is in Atlanta, right? So isn't Roman from right around that?
He's Georgia.
Yeah. So
went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Is he still around? Does he still live around there? You can just drive right over, make an appearance.
Yeah. So I think I do agree with you, Joey. I think when Roman comes back, that Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins are going to be the main person in his eyesight that he wants to ruin.
It's before Seth cashes in, though, I think.
Yeah, which is why I think maybe he comes in, LA Knight gets a huge win over Seth Rollins because Roman gets involved. And then you book the Roman and Seth match, night one, main event. And then maybe he still cashes in that weekend against Gunther. And then Roman's like, okay, buddy, it's you and me now for the, or you figure, I don't know. There's ways you can do it. And I think there's a lot of fun that you can do with it. And then you have the whole other side of things with, we teased it at the beginning, but then you have the Cody Cena stuff and how that match could go down at SummerSlam, a double turn or some sort of, Seth could potentially cash in on that side of things too. He has background history with both of those guys too, clearly. There's a lot of stuff that can happen over this next month or 5 weeks that could be very intriguing as we kind of head in towards the end of the year. And then before you know it, a couple months from now, we're at Survivor Series, and then it's Rumble season, and we're right back in the hot time here. But there's a lot of stuff where they can go in a lot of different directions, and I think that that's really, really good about what's happening over there now. Yeah. All right. Last night, Dynamite 300, a big show for them. 300 episodes, monumental feat. They had a good house in California. I normally don't care about ratings or attendance, but they had over 5,000 people there, which was the first time they've had a number like that for Dynamite in a long while, which is a good thing. They're clearly building to All In next weekend, which is their number one show of the year, their WrestleMania, you could say. And I thought last night was a really good show, and I thought over the last 2 weeks or so, they've been really getting into, pedal to the metal, getting to All In. I thought the main event last night with Okada and Ibushi, I didn't think we would get that over here, and that was free on a Wednesday for all of us, and I thought it was an excellent match. I thought Ibushi looked great in that match. He looked healthy, and that was a real good match. This opening segment of Dynamite last night was tremendous with Hangman and the Death Riders and everything that happened there. I thought it was spectacular. What happened with Hangman coming out, asking Moxley for Texas death, and Moxley coming out and saying, no, at first, I'm not going to do that. I thought Moxley doing the line where he said, I could come out here and just call, a lot of wrestlers come out here and call themselves the best in the world. And he says, that's basic bitch shit. And he goes, I'm more than that. And I was just like, oh, Moxley, you dog.
There was a couple of WWE references last night.
Yeah.
Did you have to catch those, Joey?
I'm not an AEW guy.
I know.
And I try so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, when I hear the little digs, I'm like, are we still doing this? Like
they weren't as bad as in the past, and they haven't been they're few and far between.
Doing them. Like, why? I get it. Like, WWE's taking your people and making them freaking stars. You know what I mean? I get it. But like, Come on.
To be fair, Chris Jericho says he's the best in the world too, so maybe he was talking about Jericho.
I didn't know who.
Maybe.
And
It
for
was
me,
clearly a Punk reference. Like it was
that.
just,
Yeah, but to me, I look at it a few ways because
What?
I look at it a few ways because I feel like now that WWE is kind of doing a few of the things they're doing, like kind of making AEW's weekends about them and kind of being a bully. I kind of don't have a problem with AEW taking shots because WWE is just doing unnecessary things, I think. And I think, so I'm kind of, personally, I've never been one of those people that's been like, don't take shot. Like, I don't think the big guy should ever punch down.
Yeah.
But I think number 2 should always punch up. So I think if you have,
it makes it interesting too.
Yeah,
it gives
yeah.
it like some sort of like rivalry, you know. Like,
and I feel like and again, I watch both. I am pro both, but I do feel like next weekend, All In was booked on that day for a year. And WWE came in 6 weeks ago and was like, oh, guess what? That weekend, that's our fucking weekend now. That's our weekend now. And
if you think about it, it's freaking brilliant. Like, come on.
From a business standpoint, whatever. But from a fan standpoint, to me, it's being a bully.
Triple A show too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's All In. All right, we're gonna add a UFC show and a PBR show.
Yeah.
TKO takeover.
Yeah, and it's just like,
bury them.
I understand it from a business standpoint. I get it. But to me, as a wrestling fan, it does me a disservice because I want to watch both. I want to watch all these things, and I want to have my focus on one thing so I can fully take it in. And you're causing me chaos, and I think it's a disservice. Like, listen, you want to do Saturday night's main event on Saturday night after All In? I have no problem with that whatsoever. Why the hell do you have to do NXT at the same time as All In? You're having Evolution the next night, which I have absolutely no problem with. Why can't NXT be on the Sunday afternoon, a couple hours before Evolution? Like, why do you have to do that? That's a disservice to your NXT talent too, because I'm sorry, not everybody watches both. I get that. But if you have to pick one over the other, I think a lot of people, All In is their WrestleMania. A lot of people are going to be watching All In because it's a bigger show. And I think that does a disservice to NXT. Not the full card yet, no.
They're really kind of on Saturday, Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. So they're going to do Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace versus Fatal Attraction at Great American Bash. I know that's locked in.
That's going to be the main event.
That's locked in, probably main event. And then they're going to do Jordan Grace versus JC Jane at Evolution. So that's the only match that I've seen got locked in officially.
No,
that whole thing is being done to have Blake Monroe be the main event of the show while there's an AEW show happening.
Yep. And if I was AEW, I would make sure that my main event with Hangman and Moxley was starting at the same time Saturday night's main event starts. I'd make sure of it.
If you look at who they booked for Obafemi, like I don't even know the guy's name.
Oh,
Jackson.
No,
Ishimura.
No, that's not it.
Ikamura, something like that.
They are just they're like throwaway matches, and I'm not trying to be like that guy, but like.
Google it. It's like Ikamura.
No.
Like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a PLE for them, and the matches that they have on the card so far, I'm like, this is like a Tuesday.
Is that Logan says breaking news? Masha Slamovich will face the winner of JC Jane and Jordan Grace for both NXT Women's at Slammiversary.
All right, so it'll be Jordan Grace, obviously.
Interesting. Did you look up his name?
Yeah, it is
Ikamura.
Yoshiki Inamura.
Inamura, it's close. That's close.
The guy with like the half haircut thing.
Yeah, like a half.
Yeah.
So he beat the guy that won LFG, right, on Tuesday to become the number one
Jasper Troy.
Troy.
Now he gets Obafemi for the title for NXT Championship.
Yeah. So again, I mean, to me, I
they know that more people are going to be watching All In, so they're not trying to put these huge matches on, but their main event is going to get eyes with Blake Monroe.
Of course.
So it's strategy. That's all it is.
To me, it's just like, why don't you just let your NXT people shine on their own night? Like, it's 2 months in a row now that you've kind of have taken the shine away from them a little bit and have them go against something. And it's just like, they deserve their own night and their own show to show off and have their shine as well. And again, I'm not complaining about there being a ton of wrestling for me to watch. I'm going to end up watching everything and enjoying everything. It's just kind of like, to me, it's like you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Yeah. So like, I don't know. But and so then so Hangman's doing all that stuff. Moxley cuts that line. They start brawling, and then it ends up at the end of this segment. Hangman gets the briefcase, and he says, "Hey, I got something you want. Give me Texas Death." And Moxley goes, "Fine, you want Texas Death? Fine. You'll get what you want, but, that's a mistake." And then Moxley starts to leave again, and Marina Shafir is just in the ring. And Hangman goes, "Oh, by the way, Moxley," he goes, "I know you say that you doubt I have what it takes for Texas Death." He goes, "But we both know that's a lie. You know I have what it takes." He goes, "But just in case you need a reminder." And he absolutely impaled Marina Shafir with the buckshot lariat. Like, he crushed her with this buckshot lariat. It was incredible.
I swear. Let me tell you, there have been a few instances now where I've heard people say, if this doesn't happen, if Moxley retains, it's the nail in the coffin. If Moxley retains, it's the nail in the coffin. It's been a few, almost a handful of times now.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be Hangman or we riot. That's kind of the situation at this point.
I will say.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Like,
we need a championship.
You can, and I said it when they did this thing with Swerve at Dynasty. I go, he's going to do it again. Tony's going to try to get a little more water out of the shallow end of this pool here. Yep. And I think you're teetering right now on this. Like, if you don't do it at all, and if you don't have that moment, like,
and nobody's going to care.
Then it's just going to be like, ugh. It's not that we're not going to be like, oh, right, somebody beat Mox at, a couple pay-per-views down the road, but we're just going to, this is the one where you have us all just like eating out of the palm of Hangman can do absolutely. He buckshot lariated a woman yesterday, and the crowd went absolutely nuts and was chanting cowboy shit, and they probably would have done it for 20 minutes had they not just moved immediately to the next segment. Like, this is it. They got him. They got us hooked. Just do it, and then figure out all this other stuff later with whatever you want to do. But here's the moment, and I'm in for it. So I will be one of those people.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hangman has to do it. I think I think the crowd is just so invested in him, as they should be. He's incredible, and I just think they're so invested in him that you got to do it. And I think we are going to get their version of Night 2 of WrestleMania. Like, we're getting that version, Avengers Assemble. Like, I do think this is building to Ospreay getting involved, to all these people getting involved. And I think the build is, at the end of the day, even though he's said he's never going to do it, Swerve is going to be the guy that is the final guy that helps Hangman do it. And I think Swerve is going to know. But now another bit of intrigue is on this show last night. Will Ospreay, with the tag, they were trying to get the Bucks to accept this tag match, which the Bucks were still trying to duck. Yeah. And he said, all right, we want your EVPs on the line, but if you beat us, we won't challenge for the world title for a full year. And Swerve was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
And Ospreay was like, just go with it. Just go with it. We're going to win. Just go with it. And Swerve very reluctantly agreed. So now you have that added intrigue, though, where it's, if they lose earlier in the night and Swerve can't be the champion for a year, maybe he then goes, well, if I can't be the champion, we need to get the belt away from the Death Riders. Even though I fucking hate this guy, it's for the greater good. I have to do what's right. And I think that's the moment they're building to, is Swerve and Hangman looking at each other and Swerve taking out Moxley. And it's like, oh, shit. And then it's like, oh, this is incredible. I think that's where we're going. It's going to be an Avengers Assemble, WrestleMania Night 2, WrestleMania 40 Night 2. Yeah. Logan, I think a Bryan Danielson return in that match 1,000% can happen too. I expect maybe even a Darby Allin return as well. I think we are going to see.
Has anybody confirmed if he's off the mountain officially yet?
No.
Not one person has said, hey, here's Darby at a Starbucks recovering nicely from it. I think he's still up there coming down.
He could be. He could.
Listen,
be
we
back.
also have Jack Perry.
Yep.
Yeah, Jack
Yep.
Perry, that's a good shout. I think we're in for
Adam
a
Copeland.
good summer of Cope. I think we're in for a good summer of professional wrestling.
I think this is the match where we are going to see everybody that the Death Riders have wronged come back and try, and the Death Riders are going to fight them off one by one, and it's going to look like, God dang it, they're going to do it again, and then that last one's going to actually be Swerve with Hangman, and it's going to be like, oh, and it's...
What if we see Christian Cage get involved too?
It's possible.
And kind of turn.
Well, I was going to say, what if Darby Allin comes back and sides with Moxley?
I've been waiting. Honestly, I think that'd be really intriguing to see a dark side of Darby Allin.
Sting's gone. He's got no friends anymore.
Yeah.
he's just hanging out, like
Just hanging out, climbing a mountain, just minding his business.
Yeah, I can wait. Here's the promo now. He's gonna cut right now. It's gonna be like, I was on the top of Everest and I was thinking about my life, and I realized if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
You know, something amazing.
He's mentioned in that. He's mentioned in that mountain when he gets back.
I will say though, I'm not really enjoying this character variant that we're getting right now of Will Ospreay.
Okay, I think that's fair.
It's a little bit too like
cheeky.
Yeah, it's not like he's always been like that, the aerial assassin, that badass guy that just like he cuts a great promo, he's passionate and he's great in the ring. Like now we're just really like he's kind of like being like the mediator right now. It's just not really.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like what you said before about like Darby, what if we see someone like Ospreay who's literally been the one trying to assemble these guys all together?
Yep.
What if he's the one to turn on Hangman?
Yeah. I mean,
and
listen,
now we have a supervillain.
Yeah. Listen,
we have a lot of supervillains. Like
I love me a good juicy heel turn and a good juicy swerve, no pun intended, and a wrestling story. But I do agree with both of you. I do feel like I feel like this is the one because it's Hangman.
It has to be Hangman.
It has to be. It has
it has to be something absolutely absurd.
Yes.
And bonkers that we're not even fathoming that'll go, holy shit.
Is there any free agents?
I mean, there's a ton of free agents, but to AEW's credit, they haven't really signed any of the latest, like the last 6 to 8 months of WWE releases per se. So, I mean, they still could go that route, but is there anybody big enough where you go, we sacrificed Hangman moment for this person?
Like in that moment, I think it's a select few of people you could bring over or bring in.
Yeah. You'd have to bring back CM Punk at this point.
It would have to be.
They don't even have to. They have enough guys. They have Swerve. They have Ospreay. They have Cope. They have Darby Allin. I mean, there's a list of guys that are waiting for that return or that spot. And what we were talking about before with WWE running everything that day, they are going to make this main event the most oversaturated thing they can because of that. Yeah. So throw all these guys out there like your WrestleMania.
Shane McMahon, Logan. Yes, sir. Stop that. I want that so bad.
No, stop that. We're trying to get ratings, not throw them away.
Well, that's how you take your ratings to the moon, my guy.
Stop that. I love Shane O'Mac as much as the next
You want to talk about best in the world? He said he's best in the world. Mox mentioned best in the world. Maybe he was talking about Shane.
Maybe. We can run it all back because that's who everybody thought was in charge of the Death Riders for like the first 6 weeks.
I wanted that more than anything I've ever wanted in my life.
Oh man!
Listen, maybe Tony Khan gets involved. Didn't the Death Riders like do something? Like kidnapped him or something?
The Bucks beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And then they did nothing with that. But oddly enough, though, it's kind of crazy because I feel like the Death Riders, as far as like a group and a story go, this is easily the most I've liked them these last couple months. Like I'm like, oh, if they were this Death Riders the whole time, I feel like this backlash wouldn't have been as strong as it was since they've kind of because they're really doing good stuff now. And they really have been since the Swerve feud. You know,
I liked them the first 3 weeks.
It's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then it got.
No, that's why people are ready for anything but the Mox here.
And if you think about it, like on paper, it's brilliant. Like it's so like the people they put in that group, the way that the things they could have done with it when they did that whole thing with like the Tony Khan thing at the beginning and the Young Bucks, and like you don't know who's running it. Like it was intriguing, and it just died.
Yeah. There was really that lull where it was just like, oof. And then the Swerve match at Dynasty brought it back because people are invested in Swerve, and Swerve is just a special guy. And he brought it back, and I felt like people cared. And then they did this a similar finish, and people were sour on it. But I do feel like the Death Riders as a whole, they've really like upped their game here. But I think now is the time where Hangman is the guy. It's got to be him. It's got to be him. He needs to win it. You want to do something? You want to do some bullshit right after, and do some crazy stuff afterwards? Cool. But like this feels like you can't. I just feel like you can't. Everybody was ready for Swerve to be the guy a couple months ago.
Well, first it was Cope. They were waiting for Cope, and then they waited for Swerve.
Yep. And now it's like, okay, well now the energy behind Hangman, I feel like is just too strong. It's just way too strong that if you don't do it, regardless of how juicy a story you make it,
there's nobody else.
I feel like you're never going to get a higher peak of a guy that the crowd wants to be the guy than we have right now with Hangman Adam Page. And you have to do it. You have to do it. And I think they will. If you're asking me obviously we have another week to see, but I think if you're asking me right now, I'm picking him. I feel like I would find it hard to believe how a lot of people couldn't pick him at this point. I feel like it's just the momentum and just everything is aligning for him to be for the end of All In to be him standing with that title, opening the briefcase, taking the title out and lifting how does it not end that way?
That's what I'm saying. It's got to.
Yep. It has to. All right.
We're up on time, but before we get there, I gotta ask, Joe, real quick, give me a quick. How cool was Gary V in person at Fanatics Fest?
He was a really cool guy.
Yeah. How was Fanatics Fest overall? That seemed like a fun time. What was your favorite non-wrestling, non-Gary V moment from Fanatics Fest?
The Raising Cane station, because they keep giving me free chicken.
Oh my! I would have died. I love these.
They gave me a free T-shirt, a hat. I got all this stuff.
Nice.
I went like 6 times in the line to get free chicken.
Hell yeah!
They were giving away free chicken the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A little cup with the sauce at the bottom and a big chicken nugget in a cup.
Oh yeah, that sauce was bomb.
That sauce is what it is. The sauce is
what
makes it.
It is the best.
Here's my thing: Raising Cane's. It's good chicken. It's good chicken.
Yeah.
But you can get good chicken a lot of places.
Yes, but
the sauce.
I make a copycat here that's pretty close.
Yeah.
I've got it almost perfected.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to come to you then.
Oh
yeah.
By the way, where's Bishop Dyer, Baron Corbin? I mean, this guy was he was supposed to be here.
Yeah, I even sent him the link in a DM and was like, "Just shoot our shot, man. If you want to come hang out."
Hell yeah.
He said he was what he said he's going.
Yeah,
he's a busy man.
Of course,
Joey. He's winning MLW Tag Team Championships.
I get it.
He's probably in front of a grill right now, drinking a fine whiskey, getting ready for Chiefs football. We're ready. He
has reached out to us. Like this is complete shoot. He's reached out to us multiple times saying, "Hey man, we're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna be on the show." Like
I love that
multiple times.
I love that.
Obviously, a guy at his level and his stature with all the commitments he has, because he's also a part of the Busted Open group. Who congrats to them? They're 24 hours now. Congrats to that whole gang. That's amazing.
Yeah, if you need a show to fill up some of that time slots, what's up? Us three right here.
I've been throwing my name in that hat too. I've just been like, hey.
Yeah. No, the three of us are available. I know you have a lot of hours to kill. I will wake up and do a show from 1 a.m. to 4. I don't give a fuck.
I will talk for 24 hours.
I will do whatever you need me to. You need a fucking midnight hour? I'm up, baby. I'm up.
We're over 2 hours here, and we can go on for another 2.
So we can do it. We got you. We got you guys. Just 100%. Let us know.
I expect this to be a tweet and a clip tagging everybody.
Dear Busted Open, we ready, fam. We ready.
We are. We are on deck. All right. We are on deck. Ready to go. Ready to go.
Love it.
But anyway,
that's a great way to
Yeah.
in the night
Yeah.
with our pitch to get on Busted Open.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Plugos in the chat saying that I make it better. I make it better than Kane. She said, I appreciate that.
I mean, listen, if you can, you should bottle
I
that
got-
shit and sell it.
I got some skills. I got some skills.
Bottle that shit and sell it, bro.
I'm not
some-
just,
make some
Sponsor the
moolah.
show.
I'm not. Yeah, we'll hawk it on Busted Open after dark.
Yep. That'd be incredible.
Busted open with chicken.
Yep.
That's right.
Dude, listen. I'm not joking. I will bust it open. I'm ready. You need that. You start at 9 a.m. You need that fucking 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., 5 a.m. I'm there, man. I'm up in this desk, sitting down every day with these two. I'll do whatever. I don't care.
I'll just sleep down here and listen to you yell at 4 a.m. to go, all right, let's do the show.
Yep.
Your kid's never getting his fireworks.
No, I know. I got a poor kid is
Nope.
waiting at the top of the steps with bated breath. He wants to blow some stuff up, but yeah.
Well,
no, but listen, Busted Open called, buddy. I gotta do the thing. Sorry.
Listen, sorry, not sorry. That's what I would say. I would say, how old are you? 5?
He's almost 7.
He's almost. Oh, all right, 6. All right, that's still too early to light fireworks
He's
off himself. But I would say,
yeah. He'd understand. He's my wrestling buddy. He'd get it. He'd go, okay.
yeah, it's fair.
I spent a lot on him today. He kept suckering me into stuff, and I'm like, oh, you son.
That's how they get you. That's how they get.
I'm like, so I need to take this job with Busted Open to pay for your fireworks.
100%. 100%.
You little pyro.
Yep. We need it. We need it. Joey, a pleasure as always. You are welcome anytime. I know we say it every time, but you are a repeat guest. You've been here a bunch of times. We love having you. It's always a great conversation, always a great time. You are welcome at all times. But please let the people know where they can find you, social medias, content. Where can they find all your stuff?
Thank you very much. Well, first off, thank you guys for inviting me back on the show. I always love coming on here and talking with you guys, and you guys are always fun and engaging, so it's always a pleasure to be on here. So you can follow me at The Angle Joey on every single platform that there is. I post every single day, multiple times a day. SummerSlam is in my backyard. I have a lot of fun things upcoming that I haven't announced yet.
Nice.
Some events, some cool stuff happening, so be on the lookout for that. And like I said, The Angle Joey, and I appreciate you guys inviting me back on.
Absolutely, man.
Anytime. But we don't just say that. We mean it. Anytime. You can find me at Pluggo_Busted Open, doing the 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. drive in the morning.
I'm ready.
But like every Thursday night, right here, 8 p.m. with this handsome dude over here between two beards at B2Beards on all social media platforms to know what we've got going on. You can find me at Pluggo on all social media platforms. Search Pluggo. My face pops up there. No for exposure this week because it is a holiday weekend. Things kind of got a little hectic, and then so we're going to reconvene next weekend. Get you ready for I'm sure there'll be some fun independent shows around that All In show. That's at For Exposure Pod on Twitter there, and then all my writings are up on Love Wrestling CA right now.
Hell yeah. You can find me, JPJ Loves Gaming, on all social media platforms, including Twitch. I've been very sparse, however you say it. I don't know, when it comes to streaming these last few months. But college football is coming out on Monday. College football 26. So your boy's going to be getting hot and heavy with that. Be on the lookout. You might have maybe an online dynasty mode between the beards. Maybe that could happen soon. Maybe. Who knows?
I should probably get that bought and download.
Yep. Yeah. But that's coming out next week. So we're going to be playing that hot and heavy. Wrestling wise, Pluggo just said it, every Thursday night right here, 8 p.m., the flagship show here at Love Wrestling. On Thursday mornings at 9 a.m., you can catch me on Firmly Inc. with my pal Drew Nicholas. And then I do some work over at bodyslam.net after Monday Night Raw. It's me and Corey Hayes. We do the Raw Dogs post show. And then last night, great guy. Mm-hmm. And then last night, I mentioned at the top of the show, Pluggo had to fill in for me last night because I've been sick all week and I needed to take a breather because I know I had the 2 shows today. So Pluggo stepped in with another great guy, Jose on the Air, Jose Gonzalez. We do Dynamite Up, the Dynamite post show every Wednesday on bodyslam.net after that. And then you can catch me on The Hive as well. Our pal Josh Robinson, who used to be with us here at Love Wrestling. The Hive. I do a show called The Swarm a couple days a week over there as well. And this Saturday night at 10 p.m. right after Collision goes off the air, Josh and I will be doing our WWE 2K25 sim of Evolution. And if you ever watched any of our sims, those are always a wild and crazy time. So do yourself a favor, hop in the chat. It's always wild. So that's where you can find me everywhere, kind of doing as much as I can these days until Busted Open gives us the call. And then I can retire. And I'll just do Busted Open from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Don't worry, Scott. I'll make sure my fingers are good. Fernando, thank you. You said I'm the hardest working man in the pod. These two are pretty goddamn hard working themselves right here, man. I don't know if I'm the hardest working one. I just try. We try. But as always, I think it's time to call it.
It is. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know what we do.
Yeah.
You're gonna say it. He's going to say the thing.
I am going to say the thing. Everybody in the chat, thank you for your participation tonight. We appreciate you. Great chat tonight. Joey, once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we will see you all next week. Everybody have a happy holiday tomorrow. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Pluggo and I will see you next week. And until then, you know the drill. Say hi to Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Peace out.
Hey there, Plugo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much.